And Panthers. Um, you can see we still got some Halloween decorations up, the spider and the ghost. But yeah, we're just kind of go through each of the positions as I normally do, and we'll grade them as is. Um, I think it might be better to go second half grades as well because second was huge. Ways. Uh, but we'll go position by position here. Um, Quarterback, I'm gonna give a B plus to. He looked really solid. Cam did through the first half, and he hit his targets. He found holes in the defense. It was what a first half for Cam Newton. Like that was unreal. I mean, yeah, we put up a career high 35 points in the first half. Like that's crazy. That's a franchise record, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, I could be wrong about that because I don't know what the official franchise record is, but that is definitely a franchise high for us in the Ron Rivera era. I even during the 15 year, I haven't seen us put up 35 points in the first half. So that's a huge credit to Cam and the gang. You know, uh, that's short and medium accurate passes, and he also showed that he can hit the long ball when he needs to too. So there was a lot of talk about his shoulder. Um, Honestly, well, in that pass to I believe it was Funchess in the end zone. He looked really good. His arm didn't seem to bother him, and he hit him in stride. A little bit above the defenders, where only Funchess could catch it. So you know, I'm thinking that Cam is back to his old MVP form here. Uh, some of the announcers and people on NFL Network believe the same thing. So that's going to be a very encouraging thing for the Pittsburgh game coming up. So yeah, B plus with room to improve. Uh, he did have a few overthrows, but I'm not going to really fault him for that. Uh, so we'll go into running back. Running backs, Christian McCaffrey, really good day today. He gets an A from me. Uh, I'm not going to say A plus because there's always room to improve. You know, Nobody's getting a perfect grade. You know, unless you really, really impress me. That's when you get an A plus. But uh, Christian McCaffrey, really good day though. Definitely an A. Room to improve. So, wide receivers. People got open. I was happy with it. For the most part, you can see it in Cam's stats. I think we maybe had two drops today. That was about it. So that's very encouraging for the wide receivers moving forward. Uh, Cam only had to throw it away only maybe two times during the entire game, I believe. So that's a credit to the wide receivers getting open. And I'm very happy with that. So you know, A minus. They've caught some really good balls today, and I was very happy with it. Um, So we're going down the list. Tight ends. Greg Olson. Good day today. A minus. Again, always room to improve. But Greg somehow finds these wide open uh, holes in the defense and exploits them. And it just amazes me. You know, I'm starting to look back, at Greg Olson over the years, and when you think of 2015, the amount of times Greg Olson was open during the 15 year was just insane. Insane wide open passes to him. Nobody was even looking at him. And it's starting to get to be the same way because everybody's looking at all our other players that are stepping up on our offense. The Curtis Samuel, the Christian McCaffrey. You know, nobody's looking at Greg, and that's exactly what we want. Because when that starts happening, Greg is going to start making some major plays for us. And this is the time of year where we need him. So I'm excited to see that. Uh, so that was some great strides today for him uh, towards getting to that point on offense. Uh, Offensive line. Here's where it starts to get a little bit gory because first half they looked fantastic. Didn't allow any sacks, no penalties, no stupid nonsense. They just got the job done. Second half, Jekyll and Hyde. Here we go again. The lazy offensive line that we saw from the first half of the year. So I'm like, which offensive line are we going to see for the full 4 quarters of the Steelers game? Or are we not? Or are we going to see a combo of both again, which could result in us getting in a lot of trouble with Pittsburgh's defensive ends? I'm not happy with the second half offensive line. In particular, Clark. Another holding penalty. And I said it from the week that we got him. This man has allowed a penalty. He has allowed a sack a game. Except for the last two before this Buccaneers game. So he was starting to do well. He's starting to settle in. Starting to look okay. And now he's back to his old mistakes again. Um, I'm kind of watching the Rams game in the background here. So, uh, Rams just scored in 35-24 Saints right now. Um, that could come down to the wire. That's going to be a high scoring game. So, what we need is a Saints loss. And I know that sounds really. It's. Either one is positive for us because the Rams would not be undefeated if they lost. If the Saints lost, that puts us in a tie for the division, and that's an immediate need. So that's why I'm rooting for the Rams right now. Someone along the lines is eventually going to beat the Rams, and I hope it's not the Saints because that really puts the bar on the Saints as the top contender in the NFC, and that's what we don't want because everyone's going to be staring at those 2 November matches between us and the Saints and going, what's going to happen here? So that's exactly what we don't want. We play better when we're under the radar. And we've gotten to 6-2 under the radar. And we'll continue that trend all the way up until November, including the Steelers game. So, But yeah, offensive line. I'm taking a lot of uh, grading into the first and the second half because oh man, I really don't know what to give them as a grade on this one because I'm kind of split. I want to give them a good grade for this first half, but I want to give them a terrible grade for the second half. So I'm conflicted here. Uh, I'm gonna say probably a B minus. I think that's fair. I think that's fair because you know they did play pretty well. Uh, Other than those screw ups, and allowing those pass rushers to get in there in the third quarter. So yeah, B minus. They've got a lot of work to do. Defensive line looked really good. Our front four stopped the run. Uh, we focused on their running back for the most part on the draw plays, and we got the stops that we needed. Um, KK Short was instrumental in that one, and so was Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, Shaq on the outside. So we were able to mostly stop the draw play from and contain it until the third quarter. They started doing some work in the third quarter, and I think part of the reason was our guys were kind of tired. Um, okay, Carolina's record for the most points in the half is 36, 2002. I'm being told by Diego here. So I was close. 1 point short. 1 point short. That's still really, really good. And I'm very, very happy with the first half and how it went. So offensively, we got it done. Uh, I'm still gonna give a B plus to the defensive line because they look kind of lackluster in the third quarter. They got off to kind of a lazy start, but they turned it on in the fourth quarter, so they redeemed themselves. So that's good. Um, we were able to get to Fitzpatrick. That made me happy. Mario Addison had 2 sacks, and I forget who else got tackles and stuff, but I'd have to look at the numbers. But they were really positive numbers in the first half and in the fourth quarter. So that's why they get the B plus from me. Corners, excellent job today. I only saw lazy tackling them in the third quarter, so they did good. B plus for them as well. Again, also room for them to recover. I'm being handed some stats here, so let's run through these stats real quick. We put up 407 total yards today, 59 total plays, 4 for 10 on third down conversions. That fourth down conversion, that was horrible. I'll get to that in a little bit. Um, I'm going to focus on that in a second here. The penalties, man. Nine penalties for 84 yards. Mm. Mm. Yikes. What in the world happened? Okay, granted, 2 or 3 of those were delay of games. And 2 of those were Cam Newton delay of games. What in the world are you doing, Cam? Like, I don't even understand that one. But we ended up wasting all 3 of our timeouts in that third quarter, and I don't even know. But that ties in with that fourth down conversion there, which I'll address in a minute. 19 for 25, 228 yards, Cam Newton, two passing touchdowns. Uh, Very positive overall for Cam. Uh, you got rushing attack of 32 attempts, 179 yards, four rushing touchdowns. The rushing game really put up the weight of the offense today, and I was very pleased to see that. We had the ball for 31 minutes, even, 22 first downs, 11 passing first downs, 8 rushing first downs, and 3 penalty first downs given to us. And I want to point out Alex Arma. This guy is rarely ever used for us throughout the year, but he got a rushing touchdown. And I thought we were going to use him for a second one. But Christian McCaffrey scored that one. So, interesting fact, we got 21 points in that second quarter. Now, if we can get 21 points in the second quarter, why can't we do that in any of the other games? So,
Go upstairs and get a pack, or I can get a pack from you.
okay. The big problem defensively was Adam Humphries. We had trouble covering him, and I've watched him at Clemson. He's a solid guy. You know, no matter how well you cover him, he's still gonna get some of those catches and still beat you. And I'm referencing one in particular, and that's that crossing route against Bradbury, I think it was. He had him completely covered, and somehow Adam Humphries managed to catch that ball. And that's Adam Humphries for you. Like, if you've watched any of his tapes, he's just that good. And he's finally getting his chance to do something with the Bucks, and I'm happy for him. As a Clemson fan, I'm happy for him. But against our Panthers, I don't want him to do well. So that's just FYI on that. But yeah, like I said earlier, if we can put up 35 points in one half, why can't we continuously keep scoring? Why do we just get lazy in that second half every single time? It bothers me so much. I've said this 100 times. We have got to keep the pedal down and start thinking critically about what we're doing. These penalties, these stupid mistakes, will cost us in big games like Pittsburgh that's coming up on Thursday. We have way too many teams on our schedule this year, not including the playoffs, if we should make the playoffs, that will take those opportunities and turn them into points. And I'm referencing one in particular that cost us 7 points. Let me look at my notes here. I gotta figure out who it was that did it. Let's see. Who won that one? It was oh shoot. I can't even find it right now. I guarantee you it's here though. I'll probably find it later when I look through the notes, but it was one of our players that had a penalty, and it cost cost us 7 points early in the first half. And we can't be doing stupid stuff like that. If we want to get off to this early lead, we want to get off to an early start, get things going, and keep going. Keep going. I was watching a little bit of that Clemson game on Saturday, and you never saw them slow down. They put up 77 points. 77 points. Now you got to think, in college football, it's important to put up a high score so the college playoff committee knows that you are consistently scoring and can stay with the top teams. But in NFL, it's a little bit different. NFL, you've got several quarterbacks in the league that can come back from a 14-point lead, 21-point lead, even a 28-point lead. I've seen it happen this year. So you cannot sit on a 14-point lead and say, oh, hey, we've got this in the bag. That is complacency. That is completely complacency right there. And I've seen it happen a number of times to this team this year. We cannot do that. And as I'm rolling into the defensive grades here, that's exactly what I'm finding in the second half. And it drives me absolutely bananas. Because we've got the team, we've got the tools, we're just not closing it. We're not closing it. And that's exactly why we lost the Redskins game, because we didn't close it. We didn't finish. And I think the theme this year needs to be finish strong. It needs to be finished strong. We've got everything else covered. We've got the players. We've got the tools. We've got everything we need. Finish strong needs to be the tagline this year. That's starting to become the theme. All right, so you look at free safety and strong safety. They looked really good. Mike Adams held it down pretty well, as always. We tackled for really well, and we focused on the yards after the catch, as usual, like we did last week. We continued that theme, and it worked really, really well. Eric Reed got game ball. I just saw that in the post-game video. I'm sure many of you did too. He made some plays, but I'm not sure that game ball should have gone to him. I think it should go to Christian McCaffrey instead. Because Christian went off today. And I would even consider giving it to Mario Addison, actually. Because Mario was getting in there like a hot potato. It was impressive. I don't even know what that means, but okay. Let's move on. God. My brain sometimes. You just gotta wonder how it works. But, yeah, I think Eric Reed did enough to really make a huge difference today. So I was happy with him. So that's a B plus. B plus. So we go to defensive ends. Like I said earlier, we got a nice pass rush on Fitzpatrick in the first half. We did really well in the fourth quarter as well. What a catch! Wow. I'm still watching the Rams game right now. With the Saints still up by 11 points in the middle of the third. I don't even know how that ball was tipped up in the air and somehow he managed to get it. Ridiculous. Goff has some incredible accuracy. And some really lucky wide receivers, too. But, including the guy that just got traded there, Cooper. I'm as much as I don't want to play the Rams, but at the same time I do, just to see how we stack up against them. But I think we'll get a more realistic idea when we face the Saints of what we're doing with. Um, so yeah, pass rush was good. Uh, B plus there. Always room to improve. Linebackers, B plus. Luke was doing really well. Shaq made his plays. Uh, Thomas Davis was focused on in and on the middle. If you noticed that, and he did a really solid job on stopping the draw plays. So that made me very happy. Special teams A, and I'll say A because when you look at Bird back there, and I've been saying this for 3 years now, this is the guy we want at special teams punt return because he catches the ball, he knows when to run with it, when not to run with it, when to call fair catch. The guy's smart. He's really, really smart. And I'm very pleased that he's still our return man. And we didn't deviate. So that's, and he did a really good job today. He called fair catches. Three of those fair catches were really smart. He knew he didn't have a lane. He backed off when that ball was rolling towards the 10-yard line and just let it roll a little bit. So that was good. You know, not expecting too much out of special teams. Just get the field goals, get the extra points. Don't screw up on special teams. Our offense can score from anywhere on the field if we have our offensive line doing their job properly. So I'm not too concerned with that. But overall, solid game, solid win. We're 6-2. We're looking ahead to the Steelers' short week, which is going to be tough preparation wise because the Steelers are a very, very dangerous team. And uh, they don't look like it on the scoreboard, but when you look at it stats wise, very dangerous. We got to be on point in that game to be able to win it. That's why I'm calling it a loss, and I still do. I'm still maintaining that. But if we somehow pull off the win, that's that one game where we pull off the win, surprisingly. So, uh, it's like Green Bay in 15. It's like New England in 17. So we'll see what we can do. And this game will be a catalyst for us for our playoff run. You know, the way we can really determine if we're ready to make a playoff run and really go for it is if we beat either New England, the Pats, or whoever's controlling the NFC conference as a whole at the time when we play them. And it always happens right in the middle of our schedule. Every time. That team will be right there. And it was Green Bay in 15. It was New England in 17 and now it's Pittsburgh. And they may not be the top team in the AFC, but they are right in the top 3. So we need a statement win. And that 28 points that they just scored this week has me wondering, can we pull this off? I'm I'm questioning a lot because of the Jekyll and Hyde style gameplay that we have. You know, can we go for full quarters? Can we? We were able to in 2015. We've got the tools to do it in 18. We'll see. And I'd like to see it happen. I'm sure a lot of Panthers fans would like to see that happen, and it would be a massive, massive win for us if we could pull it off. Um, Players that we need to be aware of: Le'Veon Bell, uh, the running back, is going to be tough to stop. We got to plug up the middle just like we did this week, uh, and the week before. I think that's going to be a really good test for our front four. Are we ready to make a run with our front four on defense? And Ben Roethlisberger is going to be Ben Roethlisberger. You know, he is sackable now. That's the thing. He is sackable. You can get to him. You can bring him down. The last 5 years, people have gotten to him more than I've ever seen them get to him in his entire career in the NFL. So it's very possible. We've got to put on the pressure. We've got to get through that offensive line, that gritty offensive line that they have. But it is possible. You're not going to see much out of the defensive ends for most of the game, but eventually, once that line tires out, you will. Uh, what concerns me is coverage on defense. Are we going to have the right coverages? Are we going to be able to stop their wide receivers? We'll see. They've got a lot of weapons that they can hit us with. So we've got to be prepared on defense. We've got to stay in our lanes, handle our business, and get it done. But it's right now, I'm calling it a 70-30 loss for us. 70% in their favor. So we have to really step up. Cam has to have a good day. Um, we have to really use the tools to the best that we can to get this win. Pittsburgh's not an easy team to beat. New England's not an easy team to beat. None of those top chair teams are in the AFC. So you've got to really bring everything, even the kitchen sink against these teams, or you're going to lose. Period. I mean, the Ravens ticked them off last week with that comment about how the Steelers were not playing with a full deck, and that did not make Pittsburgh happy at all. I think that really motivated them, and they got slaughtered, to say the least. So that's not a surprise to me. I'm still watching the Rams game here. Uh, 37-25 right now is the score in the third quarter, I believe. No, fourth.
35-27.
Yeah. Um, let's see what we got going on here. They're still in control. Saints are. But it's still anybody's game. So you got plenty of time on that clock, but we need a Rams upset desperately to tie for the lead in the South. But the Falcons are making a comeback. So we're keeping an eye on them as well. Uh, that win over the Bucks is keeping the Bucks at the bottom of the South. So it's getting to be an interesting race. There were some commentators that were debating who was more of a threat to the Rams, the Saints or the Panthers. And they're mostly leaning towards the Saints. And as you can see in this Rams game, they're not wrong. So we got to prove them wrong. We got to win in November. That's what we got to do in order to get to December and take care of business against the Saints. So that's all I've got for you today. Um, Be looking out for the pregame for the Steelers game on Thursday. I'll be starting at about 8 o'clock ish, since we play at 8:20. So be expecting an extended pregame on that. Uh, I might cut it 5 minutes before the game starts. So we'll see. So uh, also, if there's any news that happens during the week, I will be posting a video or a live stream. Probably a live stream because I've had issues with videos, so expect live streams. But thank you very, very much for the comments and the likes and subscri- subscriptions. I appreciate all of you in the Keep Pounding family. Um, there was one comment I wanted to address. One person said that the Rams. No, 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 no. Let me correct that. One person said that the Redskins or 49ers versus the Pats would be the Super Bowl game and the Pats would win. Uh, First of all, have you seen the 49ers record? Have you seen it? They got a lucky win off the Raiders and blew them out because the Raiders are terrible. They're coached by John Gruden now, which in the first year of John Gruden, everybody knows that that's going to be a terrible team. Um, you know, judging by what you saw in Tampa Bay years ago, if anybody was paying attention to that. So, yeah, the Redskins, we beat ourselves in that Redskins game. They're not overrated. They're not underrated at all. They're not underrated. I don't know why people still think that they're underrated. They're not. They barely got wins in the past last week. And everybody thinks, oh, the Redskins are gods because they beat the Panthers. Blah, 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 blah. And you look at, like, half of our schedule. If any of those teams beat us, they're going to be hyped up like that. We can't afford to stop putting the pedal down. We've got to keep winning. Otherwise, we get ostracized by the rest of the league. That's exactly what they're doing. Anytime we suffer a loss, oh, the Panthers are terrible. Oh, they're awful. This team is underrated. It's every time. Finish strong. That's what I'm preaching this week. Finish strong. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this post stream up with that post game stream. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you stuck around for the whole 40 minutes here of this video, you guys are troopers, and I salute you. I literally salute you. I just hit the camera there. But yeah, my respect to all of you. If you were wondering who was in the background of his family members, um, constant interruptions. But I try to do post. I try to do my streams without interruptions as much as I possibly can. But they happen as they happen. Um, my apologies for that. But I do this. I do all of these streams and videos in one cut. By the way, in case anyone's wondering. So if interruptions happen, they happen. But thank you very, very much. I love all of you. We're all Panthers family. Let's be good to each other. Let's go out and do something nice for somebody. You know, this world is so full of nonsense out there and anger and frustration. Let's just do something nice this week. That's what I'm challenging all of you to do. Finish strong. Put your words into actions. And I will see you for the pregame stream on Thursday at 8 o'clock. Thank you guys so very, very much. If I'm a little late for the pregame stream, don't panic. I will be here. Thank you. And I will see you later. Keep pounding, guys.